Okay, we're live.
All right, freedom.
All right, freedom, everybody. Let's. I'll get in the photo here for a moment, and I'll turn it over to you. So there's. Here, I better get up here because you're taller than me.
Okay.
All right, so Derek and I are here on Bloor Street. We're just in front of Arif Virani's office. Thought we'd come down and have a little chat, or at least try and make an appointment. So we'll go stand out there in front of. So we came here flagged up. Tyrant Patrol did a little patrolling through Toronto, and we've landed here. So let's walk over to Randy's office.
Loki's saying, don't forget to mention that Arif Virani is the architect of Bill C-63.
Yeah, we kind of know that. But this bike lane, like, I really seriously can't stand them. They're dangerous and they're stupid. So anyway, I'm going to turn around because we'll get Derek talking about the thing. So we came over to Virani's office a few minutes ago, and we stood at the door, and she held it open like a crack, like we were, I don't know, going to charge her, and I don't know.
Yeah,
like we were criminals or something. So here's.
She did take the cart.
And so here's Arif Virani's office. That's on Bloor Street in Hyde Park. So he is our justice minister.
He's our justice minister.
Yeah, and
the last time we met was I was just as close as you are to me.
Yeah.
And I was just about to ask him a question, and he had one of his RCMP.
That was at the Royal York Hotel. So anybody who saw that watched Derek and I at the luncheon, and then Derek tried to ask him a question, and they gave him a heads up, like to run for the hills. So he did, and. So you wanted to ask him a question. Maybe we should stand there beside him. He's got his big life-size photo of himself.
They've turned the lights off.
Yeah, that might make it easier for me. There we are, Arif Virani. So that's his office. And the girl there that you can kind of see. We have nobody on this slide, but that's okay. She cracked the door open and said, Derek asked, how do we make an appointment, a media appointment? She said, use this email. And when you said, well, they never respond, which they never do.
They never do. I have legitimately sent them emails.
Yeah, well,
asking for.
I think most of us sent people emails and we get nothing.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Bill 63 is an authoritarian bill. I mean, you're talking about charging somebody before they've done something on suspicion of them saying something. Like, where does that get off in any free country?
Yeah.
Like, honestly, that's just how ridiculous.
I don't think he's getting a good response on his Bill C-63. People are pushing back a lot, which means they'll amend it up. They'll fix it around and try and still push it through. But
they did get it to second reading.
Yeah.
Which means the third reading's coming up, but we hope that they're saner heads in the Senate. And or the Conservatives can just keep delaying it.
I think they'll delay it
until, or try as much as they can until the Liberal government collapses. But we hope.
And this is just like my a thought that I have. Pierre Poilievre spoke about it during the Stampede speech.
Yes.
And he said he will revoke it, or is that the right word? Revoke that. And I got this funny feeling like they'll push that they'll try not to let it go through, but it's kind of like if it goes through, it gives them the Conservatives another win to just say, yeah, they got it through, but we revoked it.
We revoked it.
So so for them, they either stop it in its tracks or they revoke it.
They don't. But Trudeau will do his best as he can to get that through as is, especially into the Senate, because with all the problems Trudeau's having right now, he can shut everything down with Bill C-63. Any sort of comments against him, any dissension, he'll throw that bill in, and then that's it. We're all sitting behind.
I guess you have to be really tall to read those signs. He's got these posters up, but you have to be really tall to read them. And I guess he thinks pretty well of himself and his cowboy hat and stuff. Likes those pictures. They're pretty old. They've been here quite a while.
Well, the Palestinians were here as
Oh
well.
yeah, you said.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you can notice, they've sandblasted it.
Oh right, yeah.
Because they did make a mess of it.
They did. We never do that. We'll
don't
talk,
do
but we
that,
never
but they
make
do.
any mess.
We try.
Absolutely not. We don't do that.
So she
So-
locked the doors, turned out the lights. I don't know if there's a back entrance or she's just waiting
Hi
for
from
us
Nova
to go.
Scotia. Well, hi, Nova Scotia. Yeah, be respectful. Yeah, you know what? If they start being respectful, we would.
Yeah.
And we are always respectful. Just that.
Do not engage in an intimidating behavior.
Yeah.
What's intimidating?
Yeah, really.
That's odd.
Here's our Bill of Rights. I guess. What the heck is that? What's that? It looks like it's in a different language.
What's that?
See the bill? It looks like it's the Bill of Rights or the Charter or something, but it's got like, I don't know,
Huh?
what kind of language. See at the top?
I do. Maybe it's. Yeah, it's not
See?
right. Zoom in. Maybe it's
There's
in
a
his
zoom,
native
look.
language, actually.
There's the zoom.
Oh, yeah, that's in Sanskrit or.
I wouldn't think it's Sanskrit, but some Arabian language or something. I don't know, but that's weird to see
is
that.
weird.
But you know, whatever. I guess we don't live in an English or French speaking
Stand with
country.
Ukraine.
We stand. Oh yeah, we stand with Ukraine. So we could talk about that also. What's this little spot? Lots of garbage. Hong Kong freedom. Yep. Yeah, garbage everywhere. This little spot.
Oh, by the way,
Pizza.
this
This
pizza
is
place,
nice.
you should mention to them because they gave us, I don't know if everyone knows when we were here the last time, they brought us two pizzas.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes, King Slice Pizza.
Oh, very
So
nice.
to support them, they supported us.
King Slice Pizza.
Yeah, he
Very
gave
nice.
us two, he brought us two pizzas for us
All right.
while we were
Yeah, looks like nice. Looks nice in there. Yeah, so there's definitely Bill C-63 we got to keep our eye on. And because we saw that we stand for Ukraine, you know, I understand Ukrainians are going to want their country to be taken care of and everything. But the one thing, that I don't know if you want to talk about this or not, but the thing that you mentioned the other day or yesterday and then again today is they've got the NATO meeting summit, 75th anniversary today or yesterday, whatever, in Washington, which seemed odd. So that's the first bit of oddness. Why Washington and not Belgium?
Of course.
And then the fact that Zelensky was a guest there.
Well, I think he was a little bit more than a guest. There's video of him in actual meetings. Now, I don't know what those meetings were, but it's unheard of that a non-member nation is participating. Well, he participated in the photos. So, I don't know. If I was Putin, I'm saying, well, if it smells like a pig and it has, look, you know, here he is standing with them. Whether they want to say he's a member or not, but he's in the picture.
We got Daisy Media on.
Yeah, and then there's...
We got Daisy Media.
Oh, Daisy, hey Chris, how's it going?
Yeah.
So I mean, the other thing too is there's video of Trudeau just swooning over Zelensky across the table.
F-16 he's getting too. Oh, who is Zelensky is complaining about them?
He wants
Daisy.
He wants F-16. See, he wants to be able to strike in Russia. And how he does that is he needs rights to strike within the borders of Russia.
Well, yeah, the fact that they had Zelensky in these meetings, who's a non-NATO member at this point, is really showing Russia that, guess what? Even if he's not a member yet, he's a member. And that's pretty that's pretty scary business.
It is pretty scary business.
I mean, this is my take on NATO, and I don't know a whole lot, but my whole take on this Russia-Ukraine thing is Russia, at whatever year, the end of World War II, am I saying the right thing? It says, okay, here's, everything gets divided up, and NATO is like, no, you cannot come this close to Russia, and we'll be okay. Here's the line in the sand.
Sure. Well, that wasn't after World War II. Ukraine did separate. Basically, when what would be called at that time the Soviet Union, when that crumbled apart, there were states that had separated. Ukraine was one of them, so Ukraine stood. Now, at that time, Ukraine actually had nuclear missiles that were Russian. and they were debating whether to keep the missiles, maintain the missiles, keep the missile silos. And at that time, the U.S. convinced them, it was Clinton at the time, said, let's get rid of the missiles there in Ukraine. Eventually you become a member of NATO. And then that never came to be. And then there was always talk of it. But it was basically, they said at that time, as Russia fell, we didn't know exactly how things would peter apart. But then as they got stronger under Putin, then that was when they said, well, we should have kept those missiles. And they didn't. And Putin said, listen, I don't want your NATO right onto my turf. But really that Ukraine thing, it never gets talked about in the mainstream media, is those eastern provinces that Russia's occupying right now. You know, they're ethnically Russian. And they were being attacked by the Ukraine factions. And they actually pleaded to Russia for assistance. So that never gets talked about in the mainstream media. And also too at this peace conference that they just had, and the reason why they had that peace conference is there was NATO was not going to do any peace agreement with Russia, but they needed a peace agreement to say, hey, listen, we tried, but Putin never wanted a peace deal. So they needed that before their next step, which they got it. But Putin in that piece, he did allude to that he would give them back Odessa, but they never pursued it. So now we're waiting to see what happens.
Well, we've got a situation on our hands, that is for sure, and we've got a parliament. We have a government.
We do know that there's NATO nations that won't endorse an attack. You've got Turkey, and you've definitely got Hungary. They were not going to pursue any action.
So we'll see what's going on, and we've got the President of the United States, Joe Biden, who's basically senile. So we've got a bunch on our hands here, and we've got Trudeau, who's a complete narcissistic nut job, wacko man, and we don't really have anybody in our government kind of holding that back. That's my concern too. Like, where's anybody holding this back?
Well, he replaced our chief of staff to a very woke lieutenant general, and she basically comes from an engineering background. She also did study in the States. She also has, I believe, an MBA or a degree in business administration. But she basically worked in engineering, not full combat. She was in Iraq, Afghanistan. So, to me, you can ask a lot of, it's an odd pick, only other to say that she's very woke, and that's basically what Justin wanted in there. So.
But what I was meaning is that we don't have any party in the government that is saying, hey, you know, let's maybe chill out, let's have some peace talks. They all seem to be warmongering.
Yeah. Well, yeah, the conservatives say let's defend Ukraine too.
Yeah. So we have no choice in there.
Yeah, it's a war without any intelligence. There's no intelligence. I mean, to see what's going. I don't know why they're ready to go full out. Like our army, we're completely decimated.
Yeah.
You know, we got chastised about not being up to the level that NATO requires.
Yeah.
And Justin committed that he's going to be at that level.
Because he got
2035. It will take.
He got smacked, so he says, "Oh yeah, we'll make sure we're up to level."
So it all just nothing just makes sense.
No. Well, Arif Virani, it's not our first visit, and it won't be our last, because we don't like what you're doing, and you got to go. So there's Arif.
She's hiding out.
There's Arif Virani's office for anybody who would like to see what it looks like. But yeah, it's, you know, they have these retail spots like street, but you're never allowed in.
No.
So I don't know, why don't they just have a little office somewhere in an office building like Christia does? But there you go, that's what it is.
And even while I was handing her card, she was trying to get rid of a constituent.
Yeah.
It sounded like he was an elderly man. It sounded like he had some sort of concern.
Yeah.
And she wasn't giving him the time of day either. So
No.
these are what the Liberals, these are the Liberals.
This is what they do.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Well, we're still on the job. So if you want to write to Arif Virani, there's his email address. And apparently they might answer it. I don't think so, though. Okay, well, that's pretty good for now. We did a little run down by Christia's office. We took Tyrant Patrol down there. And we sat around at...
We had a beer.
We had a beer.
Well, we did put some strategically placed stickers
Oh, yeah, we stickered up.
for the political,
No, no.
for the
All right.
political people to see.
All right, everybody, let's
All right.
chill out now, see everybody, and we'll see you on the next one. Whenever and wherever, probably tomorrow. Okay.